share, there's a lot of like mental challenges by the restaurant and the boss and the you crying and the mental and this. So we worked together with mindfulness. Like, can you explain a bit like what made you want to reach out to me in the first place?
Yeah.
How did that originate?
So I've reached out to you because of the nerves before the fight. Like leading up to the fight, we got so many thoughts going through your mind.
Yeah.
And working with you has helped me not delete the thoughts, but has helped me realize when I can stop and decide to stop thinking about that thought and change it into something positive.
Yeah.
Or like, you see them when we do the stuff we do on the computer, when you say green flag, orange or red, the anxiety it gives you.
Yeah.
That has really helped me to figure out whether I wanna keep thinking about what I'm thinking of or just be present and enjoy the moment.
Yes.
I've reached out to you because I think you're very professional and I think you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I just appreciate everything you do and how present you are and helpful you are toward us. Like, you're always there with us week by week. You lead me, you message me, you try to like help me. You tell me how your day going, did it go well, did it go bad? And you never really get upset with me if like I go, oh man, today I only done 5 minutes and I couldn't do the 10 minute. You always have a positive impact to that. You always say, okay, don't worry, tomorrow maybe push it to 7 minutes and the day after it will be 10 and slowly we got up to 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is, yeah, that's why I reached out to you because I think, yeah, you're the man.
Yeah. You spoke a bit about the red and the green, and just for people that are not aware, like one of the exercises that I always do
Yeah,
is I'll have the person that I'm working with tell me their thoughts
yeah,
for like 5 minutes, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, and that usually shocks people when they look back and they see, wow, what is it that I've thought in those 5 minutes, and how random and
Yeah.
how maybe repetitive some of them are. But that's the exercise that we do. We look back at it together, and I say, give it a color rating. Does it make you feel anxious? No. Okay, green. Does it make you feel a little bit anxious? Then orange, and if very anxious, then you go
It's
to red.
Yeah, I love that exercise because it really makes you realize how much goes through your brain without even thinking. It's genuinely so random. Like, but if you've never done it, you could never understand how
Yes, thank you.
Like that
Yeah.
is like
Yeah.
you gotta try it to understand what I'm talking about, because when you just say it like that, it seems what do you mean red, green, or orange?
Yeah.
And what do you mean random thoughts? No, I decide what I'm thinking of.
Yes.
Generally,
Yeah.
you're not. Like, that's what's scary about mindfulness. It's like how people are so convinced about they decide what to think of, when reality is your brain just thinks of the most random stuff
Yeah.
every minute.
And usually it's the scary stuff and the stuff
It
that
is.
you're worried about, right?
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
stuff that you need to do.
Yeah,
right?
that's closer to the fight. Say, for example, when I'm off season, I realize that my thoughts are just genuinely so random. Like, oh, what's my puppy gonna eat today? And then I think, oh, should I get a massage? And then I think, oh, my hair a bit long. Or, like genuinely so random.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I think blueberries, raspberries, like dumb. But when I'm fighting in a fight camp, then it's so different. Like the thoughts are like,
It's the red ones that-
how many PTs do I have?
Yeah.
Have I done the sprints today? What am I gonna eat? Oh, chicken, beef. My brother, my family. Then the thoughts are just so more related to what goes around you rather than just random thoughts when I'm off season. Like when I'm on holiday, it never crosses my mind, for example, random stuff like, I don't know, is my sister in the uni today? Or like, stuff like that. More of you think about, what am I going to do today? Or stuff like this. But I realized that when I'm in fight camp, I really think about the people or the things that I care the most of. Like a lot of times is my brother, my mom, my dad, my family in general, my wife, my puppy, I don't know, the fight, my team, Phil, Matty, like a lot of the gym box, like a lot becomes just related of the fight.
Yeah.
And if you've never done mindfulness, I think you never really understand why the thoughts are going through your mind
Yeah.
and how to control them. But obviously with your help and stuff, I've learned how to control it a little bit more.
Yeah, and just to shed some light on that, it's like, especially when we do something that's out of our comfort zone, right? So
Yeah.
holiday, this and that, normal life, okay,
Yeah.
cool. But when you've got a big event that is outside of your comfort zone, and we know it's outside of your comfort zone because 30 cigarettes, 8 espressos, heart pounding like that,
Yeah.
you're doing that because there's a high pressure situation about to happen, and literally your brain's thinking life or death.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of times we think about our family, you know, your brother, your this and that, your wife, because when you're about to die, that's what people think about. They think
Yeah.
about what's most important to me, and they worry about it.
Yeah.
And what I just try and introduce, even if we don't get too deep with it, I want the people that I'm working with, I just want to introduce them to that, hey, it's not your fault. Right? Whether you want to or not, these thoughts are just going to happen. And
Yeah.
the closer you get to your fight, the scarier it's going to get, and the more anxious you're going to feel.
100%.
And for so many people, that's why so many fighters are terrified
Yeah.
before a fight. But with mindfulness, it shows you that, hey, it's normal. Whether you like it or not, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And let's introduce a few techniques or tools to say, look, if my fight's tomorrow, I'm going to be thinking about it all day long, right? But if I'm having dinner and I want to relax, now's not a good time for me to worry about tomorrow. So as I notice the thought, because I'm practicing it, I realize now it's that scary one. How skilled are you to like, okay, can you shift all of your concentration back to your breath? And for many people, you can't because you haven't practiced that. It's very hard, even when it's just a green thought, it's hard to come back.
Yeah.
So that's why we practice with the greens and the orange, because when the red ones come, you have no trained muscle, then you're just going to get hijacked.
Yeah.
They're going to walk all over you and you're going to be stuck there. And that's like a prison. And that's why for so many people, like fighting, especially when it comes to the fight camp, they don't enjoy it.
Yeah, they don't.
Because they love the idea of fighting, they love sparring and stuff. But when it comes to the fear and like you mentioned, the week before, the night before, the morning of, the thoughts are just going to be about that. And if you don't have any tools to like, how do I just stop it even for just a brief second? You know, how do I just be able to clear my mind and know that even if I can't do it all the time, I'm happy knowing that I can stop it just for a brief second.
Yeah.
Rather than just being full time in this prison where there's no hope and there's no alternative. It's just the negative thoughts.
Yeah.
Rather than say, hey, there's a bit of choice. And the more I practice, the more I can access that alternative. Let me be present or let me think about something positive. Right?
Yeah.
So we worked together for about 8-9 weeks,
Yeah.
you know, before one of your fights. How difficult was it for you to grasp the concepts? And at what point did you start to see some of the benefits and what were they?
I think it's about constancy. Like you got to
Yes.
do it every day for you to realize that it's working.
Mm-hmm.
At the start, I was thinking, this ain't working because I could not concentrate for that time.
Yeah.
But slowly, the more I done it, every single day,
Yeah.
the more I got into it, the longer period of time I could concentrate, the longer I could see my thoughts. Also, an exercise that I really liked is when you always tell me, while you're going to work, be aware.
Mm.
And like, if your mind starts shifting, just bring it back to the present, like the tree, the colors, when you walk in the bus, the people in front of you, what's he wearing and stuff. Pay attention to what's present.
Yeah.
And until today, even when we don't do the sessions together, like, you know, you're very present in my like fight camps, but on off season, I get a bit lazy with it because obviously you want to do your own thing a bit and stuff like that. So we don't really speak to each other much, but on a daily basis, I still look at how green the tree is or how natural this, I don't know, the stone on the floor or like the bus I'm taking or the person standing in front of me.
Yeah.
when I'm walking to gym box, what surrounds me? The sounds of this bird. Or I really try to pay attention to when I'm present.
Yes.
I know not all the time it works, but I try to do it as much as I can. Obviously, sometimes I'm just walking and I don't think nothing.
Yeah.
But sometimes I just think, geez, at that time, let me do it.
Yeah, well, but it's important because if you didn't realize that at all, you wouldn't be aware and you would just be thinking.
Yeah.
At least there are moments when you realize, I can choose to be present by observing the trees.
Yeah.
Because the alternative is once you then stop doing that, you go back into, I've got to do this later. And I got that, and I got that, and I got that. And I need to go here and got to feed the dog. And that's why for me it's so important as a mindfulness coach is to teach people, hey, you're on autopilot most of the day.
Yeah.
And that's quite sad.
It is.
Because you don't realize that there's choice. But like you mentioned, even in those brief moments that you notice it, it's a bit of like just taking your foot off the gas pedal just for a little bit.
Yeah.
And really appreciating it. I'm watching the tree and I'm seeing the stones. And rather than being all day long, I was in thought, okay, now we start to have a little bit where we're present.
Yeah.
And the more that we train that, the more, okay, even if it's only 5%, 6%, 7%, we're introducing presence into our life. But we also know in our minds that, when we need to, we understand that, there's something that we can do.
Yeah.
And that's why I say for fighters that are doing it, don't come to me like the week before a fight and say, hey, can you help me?
Yeah.
It's like, I can give you a few breathing techniques that might help when you're panicking. But if you really want if you want to grasp, the process and understanding, look, let me show you the green thoughts. Let me show you the orange and the red. And let's train, because fight week is going to be a lot of red. And it's not just like I have a scary thought, let me breathe and it's done. No, that scary thought's going to come back and come back and come back. And you're going to have to have that, have that mental
strength, going back to your anchor kind of vibe.
But you need to have the muscle where it's not just once. It's it's going to have to be again and again and again and again. And for a lot of people, that's draining. Yeah. Because those that don't know it, the thought comes, they're panicking. Those that have it a little bit, thought comes, take a breath. It actually feels a bit better. But they're not ready for the next one. Yeah. And the next one. And in the day, you might have it 100 times. And it's exhausting.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially the morning of, like, oh my God, it's so scary. Okay, take a breath. But are you ready for the next one? And the next one? And the next one? And when they come and say, hey, you're up next, or and all these little things that can be triggering, that's when you really need to, I realize that I'm just panicking. Go back into it. Yeah. And that's why the more you do it, the more you can reduce those chemicals that are being put, reduce that initial fear, and just kind of snap yourself out of it. It's like, okay, come on, I'm Amro. Then you start to go through all your positive things. I'm the best. I'm this, but you forget about that. Yeah. In those moments of fear. Definitely. And so it's a. But how would you describe it, for example, if you were talking to like one of your friends back in Italy now? If I say to you, hey, you did this mindfulness, because I struggle myself to teach people, like you said, it's something you need to experience, right? But how do you describe it? What is mindfulness for you?
If I had to describe it with one word, I would say freedom, because it frees you from bad thinking. Mm-hmm. So sometimes you're like in a prison in your head, and you're thinking like a lot of bad things and stuff. With mindfulness, I think it just helps you get out this like red thoughts or like dangerous thoughts or whatever you're thinking and stuff like that. I think mindfulness I think it's great for everyone. Like, forget you're a fighter or whatever. Yeah. I reckon 90% of the people that need mindfulness. Yeah. Because no matter what's your job or whatever you do, in your life you're definitely stressed. Like, you got red thoughts. 100%. Yeah. And I feel like mindfulness is like a pain relief. It's like it helps you clear that red thoughts and like It helps you clear your mind, even for that split second.
Exactly.
It's not a long term thing. Like,
Yeah. It's not you don't
look,
do it and then okay, I'm
yeah,
great for the rest of
exactly.
my
Like
life.
if your,
No.
I don't know, if your cat died,
Yeah.
and you don't want to think about your cat just died, you're gonna still thinking about your cat died, but it's just gonna be, you're gonna try to like go back to your anger, disappear for a second, think about it again, disappear.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it comes, wipe, but it will come again and again and again. But I think the more you do it, the smarter you're gonna get with it.
Yeah.
If you're willing to perform at your 110%, which is that 10% is the difference. Because look, at the level we are, everyone is at 100%. The mental is that 10% extra. Work with G, because he knows what he's doing and he really understands the fighter life. He's been in it. He's been with us for what? Over like, he is friend of Phil since they young and kids. So he's seen Phil from day one starting the Muay Thai. So he's been around Muay Thai for all his life now.
Yeah.
So he really, really, really understands fighting. So start mindfulness to become the best version of yourself. This is all I'm saying. This is it.
That's
The best
perfect.
version of yourself.
Exactly.
I like that.
Not just only
'Cause it is.
physically, but
Yeah, mentally, not
Yeah.
physically. Physically,
yeah.
we are the best version of ourselves in a fight camp, because you're dieting, you're healthy, you train every day,
Yeah.
twice a day, you're muscly, you're working hard. Mentally
Yeah.
is when you have to become the best version of yourself, because if you're the best version of yourself mentally, then you definitely are physically,
Yeah.
because you're mentally strong. So
Yeah. And what added to that is like my important role, when I'm working the fight is happiness.
yes,
I
definitely.
think you can be the best version of yourself when you're enjoying it and you're
Yeah,
happy. I'm not saying
100%.
happy doesn't mean you don't get scared.
Yes.
Doesn't mean that you don't get afraid and that you
Yeah.
don't break down and cry, that you think that you don't do hard work.
Yeah.
But it's understanding that that's completely normal in life. But like, let's do it and enjoy it so
Definitely.
that we can be the best versions of ourselves.
100%.